Hello, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good after evening, good after morning, good brunch, good lunchtime, good night, good after night, good middle of the night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Hello, welcome to a word from Jada K today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, goldfish and budgerigar, hippos and hippopotamuses, beetles and ants, ostriches and giraffes, seagulls and sparrows, granddads and grandmas, cousins, nephews and nieces, sisters and brothers, first cousins removed, second cousins removed, third cousins removed, aunts, great aunts, uncles, aunties, friends, relatives, peers, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world. Hello, good evening, good morning, good after morning, good after morning, good afternoon, good after night, good middle of the night. Whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. JK here. Hello. And I have got a few thoughts on the vaccine, you see. Now, in the Bible, I read the Bible every day and I read jokes every day and I try and write jokes every day. And I always like to have a bit of a giraffe, you see, because you shouldn't take life too seriously in this world. And you certainly shouldn't be living in fear of what the government is saying, you see. So basically, it says in this Bible I've got spiritual wisdom, 1 Corinthians 2 chapter 2. Okay, and do spare a thought for the man who was crushed by a lorry load of chickpeas. Please pray for his family because it was a very tragic incident and the police are treating it as homicide. And only the other day I had an argument with my wife because I bought her a trampoline bed, basically, and she wasn't very happy, so much so in fact that she actually hit the roof. And she said, "I'm sorry that I ever married you." And I said, "Apology accepted." So here's the thing, guys. If you read this passage, it's a really interesting passage about spiritual wisdom in 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verses 6 to 16. But I won't read the whole one out, right? Okay, but it does say, "Well, no eye has seen, ear heard, or entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for those that love him. But God has revealed them to us through his Spirit, for the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God. Because what man knows the things of man except the Spirit of the man which is in him?" You see? So when you're looking at all this coronavirus news, right, what you've got to do is discern in your mind what is God saying to you, right? Not to be conformed by the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind so that we know the perfect acceptable will of God for our lives, right? So when you look at the news, how much of that news you watching is governmental programming from around the world because they want to rule us by fear, right? But I don't have any fear because my cat doesn't scare me, okay? Right? He might meow, but he doesn't scare me, man. Right? So look, it says here, "But he who is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is rightly judged by no one. For who has known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ." It's not about religion, it's about knowing him personally. So you don't have to go to church. The church is the people, but you can read the word because the Spirit is alive and breathing and active, and it's sharper than a double-edged sword. Okay, and it's sharper, in fact, than this lady that I met the other day, because I'm over 40, and she said to me, she said, "Oh, you look about 25." But she was 83-year-old, inebriated, partially sighted lady, I have to say that. And she did have a walking aid. But the other day, I was actually chatted up by a dyslexic girl, you see. And she said to me, "You're a fart smeller. I mean, a smart fella." And in the words of Stuart Francis, you see, I passed wind in a full lift before the coronavirus outbreak. And that was wrong on so many levels, you see. And I give Stuart all the glory and all the honour and all the praise for that joke. It's an amazing joke. And another joke that he said, "I was walking along the park, as I was today. I was doing my kung fu, doing some exercise in the park, thinking, why is it frisbees appear larger the closer they get?" And then it hit me. And then I thought, oh, I've got some other caveats off that. And basically, I thought, I was walking along the park the other day, wondering why is it boomerangs appear larger the closer they get. And then it hit me. And then I walked a little bit further, thinking what's going on in this coronavirus situation. And I thought, why is it dogs appear larger the closer they get? And then it hit me. And then I was walking along a little bit further and I was wondering why leaves appeared larger the closer they get. And then it dropped on me, see. And then I was walking along a bit further and I was wondering why is it seagulls appear larger the closer they get. And then it went to the toilet on me. So there you go. Anyway, Matt Hancock this week revealed to the public that vaccines take a long time and then suddenly there's a vaccine, they're going to test it on people. So I was chatting to my neighbour this morning. I don't know what you guys think, but obviously the way they're doing the vaccine is a little bit different. I don't understand all the science behind it, which is why it's possible to get it out so early. But my friend who's a scientist, she said that you can't test for antibodies specifically for COVID-19 antibodies. And then my other friend, neighbour, we all talk about this all the time, is saying, well, there was a vaccine for flu and people still die of the flu every year. So how accurate is this vaccine going to be? Is it going to help? Who knows? Anyway, so the fact of the matter is, that situation. But the fact is, we don't want to be ruled by fear. I walked past this lady today, God bless her, and she said, "Oh, which way are you going?" She was even scared to walk within 2 metres. And I said, "You don't have to be fearful. You're not going." I was chatting to my neighbour, who's a teacher, and another one that's a doctor, and saying you're not going to catch the virus by being out in the open, in open air situation. If someone's not got all the symptoms, some people can be asymptomatic and have it. So there's all this fear going on. I'm just saying, don't live in fear, because perfect love of God drives out fear, because fear is torment, and torment is not from God. That's from the devil. And that if we are living in fear, then we're not at right standing with God, and that we don't know his love, because perfect love drives out fear, and we must love him first because he first loved us. So anyway, that's my thought of the day today, and I hope that helps a little bit, gives a little bit of jollity to the situation. And again, my wife, she just said to me the other day, "I'm going to leave you because you're obsessed with astrology." And I said, "Well, you're leaving me. What planet are you on?" So anyway, so do pray for me in that situation. And have a good day, everyone. Hope it's give you a little bit of a chuckle. Thank you very much, and good night. And it's not stopping. Oops.